I have interviewed over 1,000 multimillionaires, and today I'm going to be giving you the top 5 lessons I've learned over this time. So without further ado, let's jump right into it, starting with number 1, taking risks. I can't stress enough the amount of times that I've talked to a multimillionaire and they've emphasized this over and over and over again, the importance of not being afraid to take risks while you're young. The reason why this is so critical is because it's very common that a lot of people get very afraid of failing and therefore they want to play it very safe and not take risks. However, it's very important, and you hear this all the time from very successful people, that the only way to make it to that top 1%, to really make it to the top of that industry, is to take risks, to get out of your comfort zone and do things that not a lot of people would do. You're gonna fail. That's a part of life. You're gonna fail. When you take chances, when you take risks, you're gonna be a fail, but it's all about responding to that failure in a positive way, getting back up on your feet, learning from your mistakes, and keeping going. You can't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. When you get into that area of uncomfortability, that's when you're forced to really grow, to develop new skills, to adapt lifestyle changes, to learn the ins and outs of different things. Getting out of your comfort zone is something that we had to do and ultimately led to us meeting a ton of multimillionaires, and there's going to be more on that later throughout this video of how we were able to do that, so stay tuned. The next biggest lesson that we learned from talking to multimillionaires is to follow your passion and align that with what can be monetized. In other words, whatever your heart's desire is, whatever brings you that burning passion, whatever your biggest desires are, whether it's music, whether it's coding, whether it's sports, whatever that may be, follow your passion, go all in with it, and find ways to monetize it, whether it's through content, whether it's through selling a service, selling a product aligned with your passion. Whatever it may be, you're going to be so much more successful if you're doing something that you love and you really care about, and you're putting all of your time and effort into that, as opposed to something that you don't care about. If you're stressing and you're putting all of your effort into something that you don't care about just for, short-term gains, or for something that might look like a lot of money at the time, it's not worth it. You need to follow what keeps you up at night. You need to follow that thing that you have a desire and a love for, and go all in with that, and you will thank yourself so much more in the future because of the things that you're able to do with it. The third lesson that we have today, that you hear all the time over and over again, that we've had stressed to us from multimillionaire entrepreneurs specifically, is to start sooner. We're all susceptible to coming up with all these great ideas and saying that, yeah, I'm gonna build this business, or I'm gonna start this podcast, or I'm gonna build this store. And how many times do we end up not doing that? It's very often that because we set these deadlines, or we say that, oh, I'm gonna do this next month, and then it turns into 6 months, and then it turns into a year, and it just never happens. When you have that idea, go. Start now, start sooner, and don't wait for anyone else. This kind of goes toe in toe with the last one, but when you have that burning passion for something and you wanna monetize that, start now. Find ways to make money with that skill or with that passion, but starting sooner is critical, and often one of the biggest regrets of many business owners and entrepreneurs is that they didn't start sooner. The fourth lesson I have for you today is to build your network. It is so critical, and we hear this over and over again from talking to multimillionaires, the importance of building your network, surrounding yourself by like-minded people, and it's even more important to when you're starting out in a specific industry or a specific career, to align yourself with people, in other words, mentors, who've been there, who've done what you want to do, who've scaled their business, who've sold their records, whatever it may be, who've been to that point that you desire to get to. Surround yourself with those people, learn everything you can from them, and become best friends with them. Oftentimes, when you're pursuing a journey such as entrepreneurship, it can become very lonely, and therefore it's very important to have a strong support system with you, those who are supporting all of your goals and all of your dreams, those who have similar ambitions and similar desires to you to achieve success for you, whether that may be starting and growing a business, obtaining financial freedom, growing on that social media platform, dropping that next album, whatever that may be. You need to be around people who are going to support you, who are going to encourage you, who are going to constructively criticize you and help you get to that next level of what you want to get to. Connecting this a little bit to an earlier point that I brought up earlier about getting out of your comfort zone, one of the things that we were able to do with our platform was we were able to reach out to multimillionaires, business owners, let them know about the platform that we had, and essentially, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes, if it's lunch, whatever it may be, the thing is that if you stress that you have a desire to achieve something, people are going to be willing to help out. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. You never know where that connection could take you. Even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes, there's so much value that you can get from certain people. So be wise about who you're hanging out with and be diligent as far as obtaining the connections that you need to succeed in your field. One last thing to note here is that it's important to keep your eyes open throughout your local community or your city to see if there are any networking events or conventions going on throughout your area, whether it's for entrepreneurs or startups or sports or music, whatever that may be. If it's something that you want to align yourself with, go to those events, connect with people, get the contacts, pursue those relationships and develop them and grow. The final lesson that I have for you guys today is to let your money work for you. It is so common that you hear from multi-millionaires. What led them to the point that they are today is because they didn't let their just money sit in the bank or they didn't spend all their money. They were wise with that money in the sense that they took the money that they earned from their careers, from their businesses, whether they work corporate, whether they went the entrepreneur route. It's very common that you hear from a lot of these people that they took the money that they had and they put it into tangible assets such as real estate, or they invested in stocks. Nowadays, a lot of people are investing in cryptocurrency. They're allowing their money to grow. When you let your money sit in the bank, over time with inflation, that money is going down in value. It's not gaining value. But if you're putting that money in assets like real estate, in markets where it's appreciating, that's ultimately how your money is going to work for you. And you're going to thank yourself so much more in the future when you put that money in assets where your money can grow. With that being said, those are the 5 lessons that I have learned from multimillionaires over the course of the last year. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, be sure to leave us a like and a subscribe. We got tons of new content coming over the next few months. Be sure to check out this video on 5 ways to make $1,000 as a teenager.